You are afraid to be alone. And that fear is the leash the world uses to lead you to the slaughterhouse. Every time you seek validation from a stranger, every time you stay in a toxic relationship because you fear the silence of an empty room, every time you follow the crowd because you're scared of being the only one standing still, you are bleeding out your power. You are not a leader, you are a captive. But 400 years ago, Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest swordsman who ever lived, sat in a dark cave called Dokkodo. He was days away from death. He didn't have a family, he didn't have a master, and he didn't have a home. What he had was a clarity so sharp it could cut through destiny itself. In those final days, he wrote 21 rules for the modern warrior. It is called the Dokkodo, the way of the lone wolf. Give me exactly 12 minutes and I will show you how to kill the needy, desperate version of yourself. I am going to reveal the Rule 21 strategy, the final secret that allows you to walk through hell and come out untouched. If you stay until the very end, I will show you how to turn your loneliness into a fortress that no one can breach. This is not a video about being antisocial. This is a video about being unbreakable. If you're ready to cut the leash, let's begin the descent into the cave of Dokkodo. To understand the Dokkodo, we must understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a disease of the weak. It is the feeling that you are incomplete without someone else's eyes on you. It is the hunger for a dopamine hit from a like, a comment, or a fake smile. Solitude, however, is the weapon of the king. Solitude is the realization that your internal world is so vast and so powerful that the presence of others is a choice, not a necessity. Musashi's first rule is the foundation of everything. Accept everything just as it is. Most of you spend your energy fighting reality. You wish people were different. You wish the world was fair. You wish you had more friends. This wishing is the sound of a prisoner rattling his chains. The lone wolf doesn't rattle chains. The lone wolf accepts the silence. He accepts the cold. He accepts that in the end, he is the only one who can save himself. Why are you so tired? Because you are carrying the weight of other people's expectations. You are trying to be the hero in someone else's story. The Dokkodo tells you to stop, burn the script, become the ghost in the machine. This leads us to pillar number 1, the death of the mirror. Wait, didn't we talk about the mirror mind in the last training? Yes, but today we go deeper. In the Dokkodo, Musashi teaches us to never seek pleasure for its own sake, and do not seek to possess either goods or fiefs for your old age. In modern terms, stop looking for your reflection in the eyes of others. Most people are social chameleons. They change their colors to fit the room. They laugh at jokes that aren't funny. They buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. They are mirrors that have forgotten they are made of glass. The lone wolf is a black hole. Light goes in, but nothing comes out to be judged. When you stop caring how the world perceives you, you gain a terrifying advantage. You become unpredictable. You become dangerous, because a man who wants nothing from the crowd is the only man the crowd cannot control. Think about your social mask. How much of you is actually just a performance for your parents, your boss, or your followers? The descent requires you to rip that mask off. It will hurt. It will feel like losing your skin, but underneath you will find the steel silk we spoke of before. But how do you handle the long cold? This leads us to pillar number 2, the sovereignty of the void. Musashi's rule number 4 says, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. This is the most misunderstood rule in history. People think it means being humble or having low self-esteem. It is the opposite. To think lightly of yourself means to destroy the ego self that gets insulted, that gets hurt, and that feels lonely. If you are nothing, then nothing can hurt you. Imagine you are a mountain. If someone throws a stone at a mountain, does the mountain cry? No, the stone is tiny and the mountain is infinite. When you think lightly of yourself, you realize that your drama, your heartbreaks, and your social anxieties are just tiny stones. Deeply of the world means you focus your entire being on the work, the strategy, and the mission. Look at Hiroshima once more. When he was in the ruins, he didn't have anyone to tell him good job. He didn't have a community to support him. He was the lone wolf of the charcoal. He worked in the dark, not for praise, but because the work was his only master. He didn't need a tribe because he was the tribe. The reason you feel empty is that you are looking for meaning in relationships, but meaning is not found in people. Meaning is found in the vertical connection between your soul and your purpose. Relationships are horizontal. They come and go like the wind, but the vertical is eternal. Now, let's close the first open loop, the Rule 21 strategy. Musashi's final rule is the most lethal. Never stray from the way. What is the way? The way is your internal compass. Most people have a compass that is magnetized by other people's opinions. Their way changes depending on who they are talking to. To never stray from the way means that your values are non-negotiable. If the world loves you, you stay on the way. If the world hates you and calls you a monster, you stay on the way. If you are starving and alone in a cave, you stay on the way. This is the forbidden ritual of the Dokkodo.
I want you to visualize your way as a thin silver thread stretching from your chest into the infinite horizon. Everyone around you is trying to pull you off that thread. They want you to join their circle. They want you to dance their dance. The lone wolf looks at the silver thread and ignores the noise. This is how you achieve absolute independence. It is the ability to say no to $1 million, no to a beautiful partner, and no to fame if those things require you to step 1 inch off your silver thread. It sounds lonely, doesn't it? But here's the shadow truth. The moment you become a lone wolf, the world starts to chase you. When you stop needing people, people start needing you. When you stop chasing the butterflies come to sit on your shoulder. Why? Because you possess the one thing everyone else has lost: authenticity. A man who is comfortable in his own silence is the most magnetic force in nature. He doesn't beg, he doesn't plead, he just is. But you cannot fake this. You cannot pretend to be a lone wolf while secretly checking your phone for notifications. You must actually be willing to die alone in that cave. This leads us to the final pillar, the fortress of the single stroke. Musashi taught that in a fight there is no first move or second move, there is only the kill. In your life, this means total self-reliance. If your happiness depends on a second move, someone else's reaction, you are a victim. If your happiness is the first move, your internal state, you are a master. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for the right team. Stop waiting for permission. The lone wolf starts the mission today, even if he is the only one who believes in it. He is his own army. He is his own judge. He is his own god. Musashi died alone, but he died with a smile that terrified his enemies. He had conquered the greatest enemy of all, the need for others. So, how do we apply this lethal independence to your Monday morning? I want you to try the Dokkodo fast. For 24 hours, seek zero validation. Don't post on social media. Don't tell anyone about your plans. Don't complain about your problems. Don't explain your actions to anyone. Walk through the day like a ghost. Observe the world, reflect it like a mirror, but remain a void. You will feel a physical itch. Your brain will scream for attention. That itch is the slave identity trying to survive. Let it itch, let it burn, let it die. When the 24 hours are over, you will feel something you have never felt before. True weight. You will feel heavy, solid, and immovable. You will realize that you don't need the world to tell you who you are. You already know. The cave of Rigondo is not a place in Japan. It is the center of your chest. It is the place where you go to meet yourself. The world is still loud. The crowd is still screaming, but you aren't listening anymore. You are walking the path, alone, unbroken, unstoppable. If you're ready to kill the puppet and become the wolf, type Dokkodo in the comments below. Let me know that you have decided to walk the path of the lone wolf. We are building a tribe of men who don't need a tribe, a paradox of warriors who are united by their independence. This concludes our journey through the 21 rules of the master, but the journey into your own silence is just beginning. Subscribe if you have the courage to be the only one standing. Until then, stay silent, stay sovereign, stay alone. Sanchin.